Alright guys, I have a 2016 Hyundai Veloster with a bad evaporator. It's got a leak and it won't hold the charge for more than a few days to a week. So we will be having to rip that dashboard out to get to it. And say hi to my shop dog. Yeah, she got to follow me everywhere I go. So things I won't show that need to be done: disconnect negative battery terminal. We're going to be dealing with airbags, so I'd say leave that disconnected for about 30 minutes before messing with airbags. You'll have time because you will have to drain the coolant, because we're going to have to take the heater hoses off of the heater core that go through the firewall. You will have to discharge your AC, which happen naturally. I will check to make sure there's nothing in there that need to be sucked out, but you'll need to hook up a machine and suck the rest of that out. And then remove your expansion block, expansion valve, and the cover. I may or may not show that, but that will be done before I go inside of the cabin. Alright, once I get all that done, I'll come back. Oh, that light's dead, of course. Okay, well, we'll do that. So I got the heater hoses off. I got the cover that goes around and it helps seal the firewall. Got that off. I got the evaporator coolant hoses off, the AC lines. I didn't get this off yet. I'm thinking that will slide through. It's just a metal plate with a grommet. We'll see. You'll want to cap the lines here so moisture doesn't get in there, and this coolant here needs to be rinsed off because coolant will come out and it will eat paint. So you're going to want to rinse that off, or you may not want to. I don't know. Dog almost tripped me. I said she makes a good shop dog, but I don't know. Alright, so next I'm going to get the center console out, and once I get the tools for it, I'll come back. Alright, ignore how dirty that is. This car's getting detailed when I'm done. So you need to remove this parking brake cover. We need to get this upper piece off, and we'll go from there. For this piece, you don't want to mar up the plastic, so you'll want to have the panel removal plastic tools that won't dig into the plastic. But this piece is okay because it goes down. I took an angle pick and I just shoved it down in here and then lifted straight up. That's one way to do it. Easier to do when you have an extra hand. So that's that one. Alright, for this upper piece, you can grab it from here. You gotta be careful. Plastic's a little thin here, but it will pop out of both of these sides and it will give you a little more to grab onto. If you have a stick shift, you'll have to get the leather boot, or probably not leather, but looks like leather. Pry that up, pop that up, take the shift knob off, get it off. If you have an automatic, this can stay here. You'll just have to work around this. It makes it easier if you put it in neutral, but since your battery cable's disconnected, what I did was I pried this up a little bit, and right in here, you can pop that cover off and stick a screwdriver in there, or you can pry it up a little bit, and it's this white button. Press that down, you can shift it into neutral. You do have an electrical connector here. Remove that. I can't do it one-handed, so I will remove that and come back. I would recommend putting it back in park, but again, it's locked because the key's not on. White button, put it back in park so you don't have to worry about it. And we have two screws. One here, one here. We have two more here, here, and in here Well, not mine. I bought this car and it had that crap in it. Gotta take this cover out. And look at there, you got 2 more. Alright, that'll keep me busy for a minute. I got the 2 10mm bolts out of there. And I got the 2 Phillips head screws out of here. And we have an electrical connector here for the AC outlet. And we have an electrical connector here for the parking brake sensor. I already disconnected them, but just wanted to explain what they were and reminding people to remove it. Now that this is out, this should lift straight up. And I'm just gonna throw it in the back. Just like that. So we got screw here, screw there, and then there is a panel, one of those, on each side. The passenger side was missing, but I have extras, so I will replace that. And Beers and Gears wants to remind you, pop one open while you're working. You might get more done. Okay, now that I got rid of my cup holder, I gotta use the door, but it works. Hi, shop dog. Now that I got the 2 screws out here, you're gonna lose my screws. I have them sitting on that seat. Whatever. And the 2 pins out. This will lift straight up. Would be better if I had both. I did not mean to click that button. Okay, dog tail in my way. This will now come out. If the parking brake wasn't in the way. I need 2 hands. It is now removed. It made it a little easier to slide this seat all the way back. I'd make sure both of them are slid all the way back. And this dog is really giving a really solid inspection on my work. Actually, she's looking for snacks, but besides the point. I'm gonna get this radio out of my way because I don't have it all the way installed right now. I was working on it. Still needs some wiring work. This is an aftermarket radio and it's actually quite nice. Bought it cheap off Amazon, or actually eBay. Amazon sells them too. So pull this out. I'll get that all out. Alright, with the radio out, you will have connectors here, and depending on your model, mine's the auto climate, which made it a bigger pain in the butt. I don't even have that one plugged in. Bigger pain in the butt to get a radio that worked. The clip is on the bottom. Okay, that's one. This is for the climate controls. This here's for your passenger airbag light. That's in the thing here. And got this one here. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Goes to this vent hose. I think it's to detect what the temperature is of your air, so it can auto climate. I need 2 hands. Alright, I got the glove box out. So it has the little plastic tabs on the sides, and then it has like a shock absorber type thing that is attached to the piece I took off right here. You can't see the other end of it, kind of. That just slides on right here, and it comes out. And then to get this out, there's about 11 screws. 1, 2, 3. If you want to see what it looks like, yeah, this whole freaking dashboard is gonna have to come out, because blower motor's down here and it goes all the way up there, and it's pretty wide too. I mean, if you go outside and look where the heater hoses are, there is no way of getting it out without removing this whole dashboard. I mean, the heater hoses are all the way up to the edge of the steering wheel. So that'll show you how far back it goes. That black stuff back there is part of that box. So this whole dashboard is absolutely going to have to come out. I was kind of hoping I can take a shortcut, because sometimes shops have a procedure when there's shortcuts, but in this situation there is no shortcut, so we will proceed. Alright, I've done a lot off camera. So to get the airbag off the steering wheel, there's two T40 bolts on the sides. They do not come all the way out. There's one there and there's one on the other side. They don't come all the way out. I do actually already own a steering wheel puller. I took the nut off. It is a 21 millimeter. I went ahead and marked from the very front. You can see it lines up, and it's on the bottom too. So I marked that just to make sure that I clock it exactly correctly. Hopefully I'm not off by one tooth. But I do have a steering wheel puller. I want to say these are 8 millimeter threads. The steering wheel puller came with American threads, and I had these bolts laying around because I like to buy extra bolts. Every time I need to go to the store for a bolt, I'll buy extra in that same size. So I had them. Let's see. I got a bunch of 10 millimeter bolts out. Let's see. Mostly on the sides. You can see the difference. So that was a 10 mil. No, that's not even a bolt. What the hell am I talking about? That one. That was a 10 mil. That's a 10 mil. This was a 10 millimeter nut. There's a stud right here. Same on the other side. There was a stud down there as well, and then 10 millimeter bolts on the side, and there were a few 10 mils throughout this. It's pretty self-explanatory. I think you guys can figure out. See, there was a 10 mil there and a 10 mil there earlier. Think you guys can figure out how to get all the bolts. I'm just doing this kind of honestly for self-documentation, but then also showing different things that you might come across to try to make it somewhat helpful, but it's not going to be a 100% tutorial on how to do this. Got the cluster out, so the part that overhangs here has two Phillips screws, and you have to get those out because they go in here, and then you pop the cover off here. It's got clips that go down. Actually, let's see, where is that part? So you'll have two tabs that go in, and then this side has tabs. This side is all tabs, so you have to lift this. I lifted this side up first like that, and then I just pulled it straight out, and that's the way it needs to go because of the way those clips are. This vent doesn't need to come off. That vent didn't need to come off, but I took it off because I had a guide. Oh, there's the wires it was talking about. I was told you gotta take these wires, unplug these wires. Also, I was instructed to take these wires off. You do have to remove the covers that go on the two pillars on both sides, and you need to disconnect the airbag wire. And you also, when you disconnect it, you need to get it off of this clip. The bottom part will stay on the clip. Focus. And you got to slide that off because this does interfere with the dash because it actually goes in there. So you want to pop that wire harness out of both sides. Both sides, it needs to be popped out, otherwise you're going to rip those wires and or not be able to pull it out. So I'm going to get the steering wheel off because I did try finagling this out of here, and this steering wheel actually was in the way. So that's nice. So I'm going to get the steering wheel off, but you know, got to take the whole car apart to be able to get the AC working. That's crazy. All right. Beers and gears at its finest. So there are two bolts that go through. They're both 10 millimeter for holding down the HVAC box to the firewall. One's here and one's just below that carpet. You can see it from that angle, but the carpet will cover it. Got to remove those. We are going to have to remove the steering column. Oh, my knee. Okay. That nut. There's a nut on each side, and there's a bolt. Oh, I don't know how I can show you that. We just have to get the steering column off because obviously it's attached to the crash bar, so we can't get the crash bar out when it's attached to something. So this, I believe, is some kind of aftermarket wiring. And what makes me think that? These little pigtail things. I don't know what it's for. I really don't. That's why I hate working on a car that somebody else has done stuff to. By the way, I got all these connectors out. There's like 7 of them. And then I did the 3 on the other side. With being lazy, let me just zoom in. There's like, oh, that's horrible. Actually, I think it's only 2 connectors. The other ones don't really aren't attached to the crash bar, so it'll be okay. Let's get that back out over there. So you, like I said, you have the 2 here, you have the 2 up there, and you have the 2 on the other side. And there was, oh, there's 2 more over here. Damn, it actually shifted quite a bit. So this ain't fun, guys. This really ain't fun. And what makes it even less fun is having this dog. She thinks this is her bed. She's been in my way a lot. What you look at me like that for? Yeah, you're a happy dog. She likes cars. She likes car rides. Let's see. Oh, she likes car rides. And she likes cars. And she likes to be at the shop. What? You're getting excited. You're at the shop. You're at the shop. And all the connectors going to this electronic power steering crap is going to have to come off too. So that's got a yellow tab. Pull that out. And then you can squeeze it. It's that one. All this, well, yeah, pretty much all this crap has to come off. We'll have fun with it later. Alright, got the crash bar out, so therefore got the HVAC box out. But you can actually drop it down, and hopefully that'll help with alignment. Because once you take that spline off, there's more variables that can go wrong. But it's just crazy to me that literally, besides the power steering, electronic power steering, and steering column, there's nothing in here. And that is the box. So we will have to disassemble that. Evaporators here, got to get that out, and we'll have fun with that. Probably should have replaced the heater core while I had all this out, but I am planning on selling this car, and Shop Dog has itches, so I don't know what's going on with that, but geez, not fun at all. Not fun at all. So yeah, that's fun. Not. And I did want to mention there's a connector here that goes to the wiring harness along the dash here, and also right here is a zip tie type thing. I was able to get that zip tie out. I have zip ties. I was tempted to just cut it, but that one looks a little bigger than the kind I have. I don't know if it fit in there or not, so I saved it. But you can either cut it, or you can get a screwdriver in here and push this side, and you can get a screwdriver on this other side and look through here and push the 2 pieces together and pull it out. That's what I did. Or you can cut it. I mean, it's It's your choice. But man, it's crazy looking at this. I do not want to ever do this again. Alright, now it's just a matter of removing all the screws holding these together. So you got one there, you got a bunch that run under long. This side, you got one there. You gotta peel this insulation back. You're gonna rip the corners off, but you can hot glue it back if you really wanted to. You got some along here. That one you don't have to do. There's a little clip here. Now, if there's one on the side here. Now, should pull apart. I'm gonna keep working at it. There's this half, and then you gotta do the other side to be able to get the condenser out. Evaporator. You get that half off. There is a screw. You can see this one screw hole here. I was missing that one. It's deep in there. Once you get that, all right, 3 screws for this half with the blower motor on it, and then the rest of it's clips, and then literally slide this out. And I was really hoping to see a really obvious leak. I'm not, so that's kind of disappointing. Pretty disappointing, but it is what it is. I'm not even seeing a lot of like oil residue either. Really hope this fixes it. I got the brand new one here, so it's as simple as sliding it in just like that and getting the covers back on. Make sure you don't forget to put your PAG oil in your evaporator. Alright, so got this this crash, what's it called? I keep calling it a crash bar. I don't think that's what it's called, but I got this back in. It really does make a difference if you have a buddy to help you lift it up. I mean, it's not super heavy. You can carry it pretty easily, you know, across the shop and all that, but wiggling it in place, getting it positioned and all that is pretty awkward, especially if you don't take the whole steering column out. There are 2 big pins, and if you line those up, it'll pretty much go in place. You do have to make sure that you have it twisted correctly. It wanted to kind of fall down this way, and so we had to kind of twist it up. But with 2 people, 1 on each side, it really does make a huge difference. So condensers in, I put the oil in. I didn't show that on video, but I did put oil in it. From what I can tell, I didn't leak it all out. I didn't put the caps back on either, which I should keep moisture from getting in there, but I guess I'll go put the caps on it while it sits here. I put about 2 ounces of oil in it. I'm not sure what specifications says to put in there, but I figured between 1.5 ounces and 2 ounces would be about right, at least in the ballpark. Better than not putting oil in it at all. So I had this out in a day. I didn't spend all day, a good majority of the day though. I didn't know what I was doing first time doing it, so obviously it's going to take me longer doing it the first time. There's some things I took off that didn't need to be taken off. So I'm hoping that I can get it put back together today. Out in a day, in a day, that'd be pretty good. Even if it takes me 2 days, I have a 3-day weekend, so a little update on that. Like I was talking about earlier, there's a camera sensor here. You want to, I think it's for light to try to detect if your headlights need to be on or illumination on the radio, something to that sort. You want to make sure that this wire is sticking up so you can put that back in. If it's tucked behind there, you're gonna have to take this whole thing out to put it back up, or forget about it and not plug it in. But I don't want to do that, so just trying to point out some things that I've noticed to try to make it easier for you guys. But all right, well, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna get all these big bolts here, the ones on that side, the ones down here, the two that go from the other side. I'm gonna get all those in. Probably. Right, I got the mounting bolts in. They're not tight yet, but they're all in. Got all the connectors plugged into both sides, including the fuse box. And what I may not have mentioned, to get it out, you have to remove this airbag connector here, and I got that hooked back up. Got all the connectors hooked up that had to come out just to get this out from this point. So as I put pieces together, I will hook them back up. Yeah, it's a lot of connectors, I'll tell you that. But you don't want to forget those, but you know, you'll remember when you go to put the plastic pieces back on there. So all right, well, that's where we're at. And you know, now would be a good time to change your cabin air filter, because apparently that's dirty. Nice. I would do it before you put the glove box back in. I swear, I thought I replaced this cabin air filter. My shop dog here, she helps me. Bye. All right, so a couple things. I'm getting ready to get this dashboard in. I went ahead and cleaned the inside and outside of the window. There's some pitting, I guess, so either it needs, I don't know. Inside's clean. I got the outside clean along the bottom. Dude, it looks almost like a new window. Besides the pitting on it, I mean, it looks like a new window. I need to clean the outside again, but I put a big zip tie on this connector here that goes to that sensor in the very back of the dash up here. That way I can help feed it through. Yeah, I dropped something down in there, and luckily it was magnetic. And luckily I have extendable magnet tool. I got it out. So just be careful of that. I gotta remember, put this on. I don't think I showed that I took it off, but it was one bolt. It actually goes right here and points up, but I need the dash on before I put that back. So as far as connectors go, I'm not too worried. These two are for the airbag that go here. I don't think I showed me taking it off, but they are color coded, so shouldn't be that difficult to figure out. So I'm about to, now that I got the window clean and I got that zip tie on there to help me feed the wire through, I'm going to try to get that in. So see you in 3 days. All right, so got the dog here. Anyways, she's in my seat and she don't care. And I got the dashboard in. So couple things. Get all the bolts, the studs lined up. Get that on and start those nuts, and do that before you do any of the 10mm bolts. I got the steering column back in. Pain in the butt. So remember how I marked this? If this came undone while it was on my pants, or this got hooked on my pocket while I was underneath the dash, cringe. Anyways, this was able to spin on here. I just started those aren't tightened. This can actually, if this is tight, it'll stay. It won't rotate, it will stay. If this is loose, this can rotate on the shaft and also can completely slide off. Since that was marked and I didn't remove the shaft, the actual steering column from this, I went ahead and removed this, which comes with this whole bracket, which is why I can't demonstrate. And I got the back one lined up first, and then I put this on and swiveled it up. So that was the easier way to do it. If you're going to do that, make sure you have this marked with like a vertical line or whatever, however you want to do it. But my vertical dots there helped me make sure that it was lined up. Since I didn't disconnect it from the steering column, the car's on the ground. Tires aren't turning. This actually, I cannot turn this because there's no power steering right now. There's no power. So that will stay lined up as long as everything's lined up. And also, too, these two bolts are straight up and down. So when you put that back on, you can make sure that these two screws are straight up and down. However you want to do it, to try to eliminate reprogramming, because that's what it's going to come down to. If you don't get that steering wheel on perfectly center, it's going to drive you nuts. I mean, if you have the steering wheel puller, it's pretty easy to pull it off, center it, put it back on, whatever. Yeah, I got this in. I got a lot of electrical connectors hooked up, so most of it was the power steering stuff. Got everything ran. My zip tie worked out really good for me. I think it would have been a real big pain in the butt if I didn't have that zip tie on there. So it's coming together. This is good. This is good. Even though I got a dog taking up my car. You're in my workspace. Oh, you don't care. Nap time. You want to be a shop dog. Anyways, it's coming together. It's not going as bad as I thought it was putting it back together, so. Wow, I really hadn't been making any videos on this. Got it all done. Minus the radio. I didn't put this all the way back in because it is a pain in the butt to take out. And I kind of did mar up the paneling there a little bit, so I gotta wire that up, finish that, and then I'll click that into place. All in all, book time I think was 5 hours for the whole job, so disassembly and reassembly included for 5 hours. Maybe if you do it all the time. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. For whatever reason, there's like a gap there. I remember a gap, but I don't remember it being that big. But I mean, it's back in. I still have 2 bolts to put down in there, but I did all the other screws. So besides those 2 bolts, interior's done. Just got to finish the radio so I can pop that in. And I got the expansion valve switched out. Came with new O-rings. I kind of liked the O-rings that were on it better. They actually seemed thicker. They seem good still too. I could have used it, but I mean, it's leaking, so went ahead and replaced them. At least you can take that off. I mean, you had to take that off to get the evaporator out, so I mean, even if those O-rings aren't good, I can deal with that later. It won't be that big of a deal. Got the heater hoses back on, and I almost forgot. I took this vacuum hose for the brake booster off to make it easier to reach the heater core hoses. So I need to get that clamp down, get the cowling back on. But that's my experience with this. Not exactly a how-to, but more of a what my experience was like. So I mean, I would definitely do it over paying $1,000 or whatever in labor for a shop to do it, but it's not something I would choose to do for somebody else. I mean, unless they're paying me a decent amount. I mean, I'd do it for a few $100, but I wouldn't do it for fun. I wouldn't do it for a favor. That's something that I would need to get something out of. But I increased the value of this car by like $1,000 by fixing that, so. Well, I wouldn't say increased, but I got back $1,000 of the value. It was undervalued because of that. So anyways, hopefully this video will help people. Depending on what you're looking for, you might be able to figure things out for unrelated things other than the evaporator by watching this. Airbag, wiring, whatnot. So anyways, just got to charge it up now and all that. But I'll be back tomorrow. I'm done for the day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. All right, peace.